As you can see, I'm surrounded by green. Well, I'm not surrounded by green, but we are sponsored by the good people at Wash and Go today. The lovely people at Wash and Go. What I'm on about, good people. And people often say to me, Mark, is it not hard being a Wash and Go ambassador? And I always have to reply to them like this. Being a rocket engineer is hard. Just ask Elon Musk. Being Manchester United manager is hard. Just ask the 4 managers that have taken over since Sir Alex Ferguson. Being an NHS worker, that's hard. Heroes. That is really hard. But being a shampoo ambassador is as easy as taking a bath. It really is. So next time you're having a really hard day, just run a bath, light some candles, put on some relaxing music and lather up with Wash and Go. Classic Wash and Go. You can pick up your bottle at any good retailer or by hitting the link in the description and getting it delivered straight to your door. Thanks very much to Wash and Go for supporting the United Stand. Now let's move on with the show. And remember, Wash and Go, it's invisible. It's invisible. Welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Manchester United have caught a manager, and it's breaking news that's actually positive news for the first time in a very long time. I'm very, very happy to be back live with you so quickly after doing the Chelsea preview. Please do check that out. But we have got massive news in relation to Manchester United and the appointment of a new manager from a very strong source. It's coming from David Ornstein. This would destroy David Ornstein if this wasn't true, which is why I know it's absolutely true. Ralph Rangnick is going to be the new Manchester United interim coach. The only interim coach I would have taken. This is the only person. I don't like the interim. I do not like the interim position. I think it's an absolute joke and a cop-out. But the only man that I think you could have gone that could work is Ralph Rangnick, and we'll go why in a moment. But this is coming. Let me just read this out because obviously people are going to be like, where's it coming from? So it's coming from David Ornstein, obviously journalist with the BBC, now with The Athletic, saying that Ralph Rangnick has agreed to become Manchester United's interim manager. 6-month contract sorted with additional 2 years in a consultancy role. Feels like he can't be involved because of a work permit for the Chelsea game, but an agreement has been reached for him to become the interim manager. Poch in the mud, says the chat. But look, I think at the end of the day, we'll talk about the Pochettino stuff and what happens. He could still be manager in the summer. He might not be the manager in the summer, I suppose. But Manchester United have reached an agreement with Ralph Rangnick to become the interim manager, 6-month contract, then 2-year consultancy, deal subject to Lokomotiv Moscow approval. Work permit process prevents him from leading against Chelsea, which is absolutely fine. I don't think he needs to be. I suppose the next thing you start talking about is whether he gets his coaching staff, etc. But look, I was reading about, I know about Ralph Rangnick. I think he's well into his 60s now. He's the archetypal manager, massive influences in relation to Klopp and Tuchel and people like that, and lots of other managers. Very, very intelligent guy, very driven guy, wants to be in control. I'll give you, look, my personal feeling is I'm excited about it. I've not felt excited like this for a long, long time. Fair play if this happens. I actually feel happy about this. I actually feel positive. I actually feel like the minute he comes into that club, I'm going to feel, happier. But look, this will make you feel even happier. I read this the other day. This was actually from Christian Falk. These are his words when he was talking to ESPN. And he was asked to describe Ralph Rangnick. And he said, it's very simple. He's a very proactive style of footballer. He's been described as the godfather of the Geoghegan pressing system. But he says he's a very proactive style of footballer, plays a very proactive style of football, similar to the way in which Dortmund and Liverpool have been playing under Klopp. Well, I think Klopp's very similar to Sir Alex. I think Klopp plays in a way that is, get your wingers forward, commit players, press high up the pitch. He says he likes to press high with a very intense counter pressure. When we have the ball, we do not like any square or back passes. Oh, I love it. He's basically just anti what we've seen for the last year, really. We don't like backward passes. We don't like square passes. The goalkeeper also should not be the one with the most contact on the ball. In almost every league in every country, the goalkeeper is technically the most limited football player on the pitch, and therefore we have to make sure that he's the lowest. Attack, counter-attacking, counter-pressing, exciting and entertaining style of football. Read that back. This is Ralph Rangnick. Fast, proactive, attacking, counter-attacking, When it comes to formations, Rangnick is adaptable. He plays a 4-3-3 at Hoffenheim, which was later adapted to a 4-4-2 diamond. Rangnick adapts his formation to suit his players and get the best out of them rather than being wedded to a specific style. At Leipzig, he was instrumental in introducing the 4-2-2-2, which sparked real success. Rangnick explains, we decided on a formation that in Germany and Austria no other team has played, 4-2-2-2, a back four, 2 number 6s, one was more like an 8, 2 number 10s and 2 strikers. We were fantastic and very difficult for teams to attack us. And it's exciting. Football is what we should be getting. From United's perspective, this should be encouraging, definitely. And he has a desire. I mean, look, many of you will know that anyway, but it's never a bad thing to be introduced to Ralf Rangnick and what he could mean to Manchester United. So it's exciting. Look, I'm excited. I don't and have not been excited by Manchester United. It's not just Ollie. I wasn't excited by Van Gaal. I wasn't excited by Mourinho. I think that this is a surprisingly intelligent move by Manchester United, and maybe they've been backed into a wall, but I'll always say this: when United make good decisions, I'll call it out and I'll say it's good, and this is a good decision. I didn't expect them to do this. Ralf Rangnick is very driven on what he wants to happen. Now, it'll be very interesting whether he keeps Carrick, but the consultancy role, says Pranay, excites me more as hopefully we can see good structural changes going long term, and finally we have a football man making decisions. I think that's absolutely massive, Pranay, I agree. Not to get carried away, but this is the first serious direction taken by the club since Sir Alex Ferguson stepped away. Again, Mahmood, it's just so exciting. Is he going to bring in his coaching team, says Mojo? We need to talk about that. Lots to get through. We'll stay live for a fair bit to talk about this. Signing Rangnick with his conditions means the club just might be going in the right direction. Hope the board keeps promises and doesn't backstab him, says Seymour. This gets me excited. Could be transformative for our football structure in the long term, which we desperately need, says Joshua Bellwater. I mean, look, as well, I think, there's so much to digest and talk, but this might not mean Poch. This might mean Rangnick will be involved in the structural change of the club, and he might suggest who we go for. He might say, go and get Ten Hag. He might go and say, go and get somebody else. So, I think the reality...